Hey everyone, this is a refresher for Unearth. The object of the game is to claim ruins and gather stones, which are used to build wonders. Ruins and wonders earn you points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. To set up the game for 3 to 4 players, place all the stone tiles in the bag, then shuffle the Delver deck and deal each player 2 Delver cards. Then shuffle the Ruins deck and deal 1 Ruins card face down to each player. You can look at your own card, but it should stay hidden from the other players. Then remove the top 5 cards from the Ruins deck and place them back in the box without looking at them. Shuffle the End of Age deck and then randomly choose 1 End of Age card. Place it on the bottom of the Ruins deck and then put the rest of the End of Age cards back in the box. Then reveal 5 Ruins cards and place them face up in the center of the table. Then randomly draw stones from the bag and place a number of them on each ruin as indicated by the hex-shaped icon on the bottom right corner of each ruin. Then shuffle the Named Wonders deck and draw wonder cards equal to the number of players plus 2. In this video, I'm simulating a 4-player game, so I would draw 6 wonder cards. Then place the corresponding token on each named wonder. Then shuffle the Lesser Wonder and Greater Wonder tokens and stack them face down on top of their corresponding cards. Each player then chooses a set of dice of one color, then roll to see who goes first. After the first player has taken their turn, play proceeds in clockwise order. If you're only playing with 2 players, setup will change slightly. Set up the game as described earlier, but after dealing each player a face-down Ruins card, remove 10 Ruins cards from the deck instead of the normal 5, and reveal only 4 Ruins cards instead of the normal 5. Each player's turn has 2 phases, the Delver Phase and the Excavation Phase. The Delver Phase is optional. In the Delver Phase, you may play any number of Delver cards from your hand. These cards are resolved immediately in the order they are played and then discarded. In the Excavation Phase, you will roll 1 die from your dice pool and then place it on one of the Ruins cards. You must say which die you will roll and which specific ruin you will roll on before you roll the die. So if it were my turn, I could say I'm going to roll this die for this ruin. After the excavation roll, play passes to the person to your left. There are a few things that you need to do during your turn. When you roll a 1, 2, or 3 during either phase, immediately take a stone of your choice from the ruin you rolled on. If there are no stones on the ruin, you must draw a random stone from the cloth bag. So if it were my turn and I said that I was going to roll a d6 for this ruin and I got a 1, I would choose one of these stones. Whenever a die is rolled, re-rolled, or a card is played, check to see if the total of all the dice on the Ruins card is greater than or equal to the claim value of the ruin. If it is, the ruin is claimed by the player with the highest individual die result. That player then takes the ruin and adds it to their play area face up. Every other player that had dice on the ruin but didn't claim it will draw cards from the Delver deck equal to the number of dice they had on that ruin. If the Delver deck draw pile is empty, reshuffle the discard pile to make a new Delver deck. So let's say that it's Red's turn and they see that there's a 5 and a 4 on this Ruins card. If they rolled an 8, then the total for all the dice would be 17 and Red would claim this card. Once the ruin is claimed, return all dice to their owners and return all remaining stones on the ruin to the cloth bag. Then draw a new Ruins card to replace the card that was claimed and place new stones on the ruin. So the value of all 3 dice is higher than 13, so Red would claim the card. They would get their die back. These 2 stones would go back in the bag. And since these players didn't claim the card, they would draw 1 Delver card for each die they had on the card. So blue and yellow would both draw 1 Delver card and they would get their dice back. If there's a tie when resolving a claim, the die with the highest number of faces wins. So if 2 players were tied 5 to 5, the d8 would beat the d6 and the yellow player would claim this card. If the tied dice are the same type, then compare the second highest dice of each tied player, continuing to compare the next highest dice until the tie is broken. So if the blue and yellow player are tied, we go to the next dice, and blue would win because 3 is higher than 2, so blue would claim this card. If there's an unbreakable tie, then no one gets the ruin card. It's placed back in the box and all players draw a Delver card for each die that they had on that ruin. Players will score points by using stones to build wonders, which are hexagonal rings of stones with an empty space in the center. As previously mentioned, whenever a player rolls a 1, 2, or a 3, they gain a stone from their declared ruin, or the bag if there are no stones on the ruin. This stone must immediately be placed in front of that player, connected to any previously placed stones if possible. So let's say that it's my turn and I'm going to roll this die for this ruin. I rolled a 1, so I'll get a stone tile. Since I don't have any stone tiles, I'd place it alone here. Let's say that it came back to me and I rolled again and I got a 2. I would take another stone, and now since I have one stone here, I would connect it. If the stones used to make the wonder are all the same color, then fill the empty space with a greater wonder token. If the stones used to make the wonder are of different colors, then fill the empty space with a lesser wonder token. Named wonders can be built instead of lesser or greater wonders, but each require a specific collection of stones to be built. Regardless of the wonder built, stones can be arranged in any order in the hexagonal structure. Greater and lesser wonders should be placed point value down. Only the owner can know the value. This means that the wonder can be built using any combination of colors. This wonder needs to be built with 2 of the same color, 2 of a second color, and 2 of a third color. This wonder would need 3 of one color and 3 of a second color. This wonder would need 6 of all the same color. This wonder would need 3 black tiles and then 3 of any other color. And this wonder would need a black, red, blue, and yellow stone and then 2 of any color. Stones can be used in multiple wonders, but once a stone has been placed, it can never be moved unless specified by a card or game effect. So once you're able to satisfy the requirements and build the wonder, you'll take the wonder token and the wonder card. So I needed 3 of one color and 3 of another color, which I have here. Some wonder cards have special effects. This one will just give me 6 points at the end of the game. After all of the Ruins cards have been flipped up and placed in the center of the table, there will be 1 card left in the Ruins deck. The End of the Age card that was placed at the beginning of the game. Reveal the End of Age card the same way you would reveal a new ruin and do what it says. If it's a new ruin, place stones on the ruin as you normally would. If it's an event, follow the instructions on the card. The game continues until all ruins on the table, including those placed during the End of Age, have been claimed. When the last ruin card has been claimed, the game ends and points are scored. There are 4 ways to earn points. Players reveal their hidden ruins cards and score points for each set of matching ruins cards that they have. Players score an additional 5 points for collecting a set of 1 of each of the 5 colors of ruins. This may be scored multiple times for multiple sets. Players also score points for their lesser and greater wonders. Some named wonders will also earn you points. And lastly, players score an additional 5 points for building 3 or more wonders. Whoever has the most points wins. And now for some general rules to remember. Only the active player may play Delver cards during their Delver phase. Rerolled dice always remain on the ruin they were previously placed on. The owner of a rerolled die always performs the reroll, even if forced to do that reroll by another player. Delver cards and named wonder effects may never lower a die result lower than 1. They also can't raise the die result higher than the highest value of that die. So this die result could never be lower than 1 or higher than 6. That's Unearth. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more Cosmic Tavern.